You were even flirting with Simon Cowell. I was like, hello, what's going on? Because he asked you a question like, are you married or have you got a partner or something like that? Have you got kids? Are you single?
Yeah.
And then you said, what, are you asking me out?
I said, why are you asking me out?
No, that's a confidence right there.
Wow. Okay. I get it. Like, I didn't get it during the time. People used to come up to me and like, and say like, oh, wow, like, you are incredible. You were just so mesmerizing to watch. And I hear it on the, thank you. And I hear it on the surface level of stuff. But when I'm doing what I'm doing, I'm just concentrating on trying to do a good job.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't stop.
Hi guys, it's your boy MDK, Mr. I Woke Up Like This, finding the signal, connecting people. I'm chilling with the one and only Anelisa Lamola. How you doing, my sister?
I'm good. I'm very, very good.
You're amazing, you know that.
Thank you.
I don't know where you get the energy from.
I mean, listen.
But you're always in good spirit.
Listen, you have to. The balance. You have to.
Where do you get that from?
I think, do you know what it is? It's gratitude.
Yeah.
I try and be grateful as much as I can.
Okay.
Even when things are going wrong, I try and be as super grateful as I can be.
Oh.
So I think that's what it is. You know, there's so much to smile for. I know there's like, there are things that are happening and I've not particularly had the best of the last 2 years.
Okay.
But at the same time, I find a reason to smile and be happy because it could be worse.
Yeah. Why was it not good? Is it because of COVID? Is it because of a lot of things going on in your life?
Yeah, both. Yeah, well, COVID, yes.
Yeah.
COVID was annoying because I was like suddenly.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was like, I have to deal with myself now.
Yeah.
I have to deal with my depression. I have to deal with my shit. You know, like it's silence. It's silent everywhere. You're like, that problem I was avoiding.
Yeah.
I can't avoid it now.
You have to deal with it.
You have to deal with it. So like, it was annoying in that sense, but it's okay because I seek therapy.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot of things about myself. And it's also the same time I went back into like wanting to commit to music.
Okay.
Because music was always like a on the side thing outside of musical theatre.
Yeah.
So that was a time for like, just recreation. And then sadly I lost my dad July of 2020.
Oh,
so that was that was very difficult because I literally, the day he died was like the day before the last repatriation flight to South Africa.
Yeah.
And then they closed everything down. It was like, no, we're not accepting anybody to come over and stuff.
Yeah.
Was
this due to COVID?
My dad didn't die of COVID. My dad had dementia.
Okay.
And he was just very senile. He was gone, bless him. Like he was not here with us. Like long before he passed, he wasn't with us. Do you know what I mean?
Could he remember you though? I don't know.
Sometimes
how severe was it? Is it?
It was bad. Sometimes he thought I was my mum when I was younger because me and my mum are like the spitting image of each other.
Okay.
Like I literally look like how my mum looked when she was younger.
Okay.
She'll say that she.
So beautiful as
well,
equal.
She'll say she was more beautiful. I mean, she'll be like, well, I created this.
But yeah, that's the thing. She created you. So there's no way.
She's the original pretty.
Yeah.
Kirill McCoy, that one. you know. So lost dad, and I had some relationship problems that I had to run away from somebody's son.
Okay.
Not run away, but it was toxic.
Is this how you guys talk about us? You run away from us.
The ghetto, okay? Yeah. I had to go to the suburbs, okay? I had to leave the ghetto for the suburbs. No. Honestly, I have nothing but love for him. Yeah. But something had to shift.
Okay.
Like, so many things were happening. And I just felt lost as an artist as well around that time. So, like, this last 2 years have been difficult, but at the same time, they have been the most rewarding career-wise because some of the things I was able to do and achieve in the last 2 years, I'm just so proud.
Is it?
Do you know what I mean? So like every day I wake up, I'm like, I know it's difficult, but
but you gotta keep on going.
like you have to see where you have to just find where the light is coming through rather than focusing on, the light is not coming through the window.
Yeah.
If there's a crack there, take that crack and run with it.
And work with it, yeah.
Run with it, you know?
I mean, let's take it back to people who don't know who Anelisa is.
Yes.
Introduce us to Anelisa. Who is Anelisa?
Anelisa is a South African girl. I was born in South Africa.
Really?
Yes, I was born in South Africa.
Where about?
Pretoria.
Dope.
Pretoria. I can't remember the hospital, but it's like, I swear everybody's been to that hospital, but I can't remember the name of it. But I was born in Pretoria. My brother and sister grew up with my brother and sister, my mum and dad, and a whole bunch of like cousins, because my house was the hub, because my mum's from the Eastern Cape.
Okay.
So my house was always a hub for all of my cousins from Eastern Cape coming
The
to
hub meaning everyone stays.
Everybody used to, well, not stay, but like everybody used to come over a lot. I mean, some people did, but like a lot of my cousins went to university in Pretoria or Joburg. So my house became a hub for that side of the family.
Yeah.
And as well as like my dad's side as well, because my mum's like a very social person. She loves cooking.
Okay.
Even though I grew up with her at work all the time.
I was going to say, that means your mum is a good cook.
My mum is an excellent cook, and she's taught me and my brother very well. My brother's a chef.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anelisa is a young black girl from South Africa. I grew up in South Africa, and then obviously we moved over here when I was about 14, and we moved to Plymouth.
Yep.
Which was a bunch of fun.
Right.
Challenge. A bunch of fun, but yeah, that's me.
So you moved to Plymouth, and when you're in the UK at this point in time, are you doing music? Are you acting?
No, not at all.
None of those things are happening.
Well, to be honest, I did. My mom was very pro try everything.
Okay.
So like I did sport. Like I went to sports school in South Africa. My primary school was a sports like a sports specialist school.
Yeah.
But they had a choir. So I used to sing in the choir, I used to like compete and stuff like that.
Okay.
I didn't think of singing as like a big deal.
Yeah.
Because my family sings. Like we'd all gather around every Sunday and
so
sing.
everybody's got
Yeah,
good
so
voice.
it was just never I was like, I can sing, but mom's a top soprano.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, me and my alto.
Okay.
So I didn't really take it seriously until we actually moved here. And my friends at school at Plymstock, I think we were like, I entered the Pop Idol at school.
Okay.
And obviously I won it.
Wow. Round of applause.
Won it.
Yeah.
And then my friends were like, you're a good singer. Let's apply for X Factor for you. And I was like, okay. And then...
Did you know what the X Factor was at the time? Were you watching it? Okay.
I did. Well, no, not X Factor particularly. I think American Idol.
Okay.
Because obviously in South Africa, on Mnet, you could watch American Idol.
Yes,
so I knew of Simon Cowell. So that's the only... On X Factor, that was the only thing that I recognised.
Yeah.
I didn't really know Louis Walsh and everybody else. And Sharon...
Yeah.
Well, I kind of knew who Sharon Osbourne is because of, Mr. Osbourne.
I think that time was Nicole. Is it Nicole Chesno or something like that? I can't remember.
No, actually, the first time I did it, it was... Oh my God. Not Kylie Minogue. What's Kylie Minogue's sister? Danny Minogue.
Danny Minogue.
Danny Minogue. It was Danny Minogue, Sharon Osbourne, Louis Walsh, and Simon Cowell.
Wait, take me step by step.
This is like 2007.
Yes. Wait, your friends hear that, you've got a voice, and you're like, okay, wah.
Yeah.
And then they're like, we're going to apply for the X Factor.
They did. Well, they applied.
Who's filling in the form?
My friends did. In fact, they didn't tell me until I said, I've got a letter come through the post saying that I've got an audition. Like, do they send it to everyone? I was genuinely asking, like, do they just send it to everyone?
Like, you had no idea?
No, I had no idea they had applied.
Right,
and then, screaming. And then, when I said that to my friends, they're like, oh, well, we're guilty. And I was like, oh, wow. And then it was the day after prom that I had my audition.
Wow.
I had my audition the day after prom.
Take me through the audition. You get there, I'm assuming, what, 16, 17? 17.
Yeah.
And you get there. Yeah. You recognize Simon Cowell. You recognize who was there?
Sharon Osbourne.
Louis,
Danny Minogue.
Danny Minogue. What's going through your mind at this point?
I wasn't taking it seriously at the beginning.
Really?
Because I don't think I understood the
The process.
scale. No, but I just didn't understand the scale of it.
Or how big it was.
Yeah, and I wasn't even going there with the notion of like, I really want to win. Like, I was genuinely like, oh, this would be fun. Yeah. Like, this would be really cool to do.
Okay.
And I think it wasn't until I got to boot camp that I was like, oh my God, I think I really want to sing.
Yeah.
Because I was like,
why was that? Was it because you saw other people that did the same thing?
And I just yes, there was an element of that, but I think the further I got, the more I was like, oh,
the feeling.
These
good.
Yeah, and also these experts.
Yeah.
And people that are in the industry on a larger scale, and I've seen what it's done for people, you know, like these kind of shows. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, they've just given me the stamp of approval. Do you know what I mean? And like hearing Simon Cowell be like, I think you've got an incredible voice. Like, you know, like I'm like,
yeah,
I will never forget that. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those things where I'm like, that was a great catalyst.
Just hearing it from
the pros, from like people who are out there
the main men.
Yeah, you know, like I've fantasized when I was a kid, like being famous and stuff. And like, I don't know if you know about, there was a show called Jam Ellie.
Oh yes, Gem Ellie. What's this girl? Iyo, bangkani iyo.
Yeah, that one. Matosa. Is it Matosa?
No, that's not Lebo.
Who was
Vinolia Mashejo. Yes,
that's the one.
Yes, Vinolia.
I remember watching that show and being like, "Oh, I'd love to do that." I think that was the first glimpse of my interest in it. But
I think there was Nimrod and Kosi. I'm not really sure. There was a guy there.
Yeah, I can't really remember like their names properly.
Yeah,
forgive me. Love you.
No, it's alright. It's Nimrod and Kosi and Vinolia Mashejo. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And I remember watching those shows. Those shows, and just being like, oh, I'd love to do that. Or even listening to like Joyous Celebration, but it was never like a tangible or something that I thought I was gonna and I wasn't gonna pursue it. Do you know what I mean? I was just gonna be like, oh, it's fine, I can sing.
Yeah.
But it was never like you can actually have a life doing this. Do you know what I mean? So it wasn't until boot camp that I was like, oh my goodness. What am I sleeping on?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then that's when I was kind of like, okay, maybe I'll give it a go.
Now, take me to the moment where you're doing the X Factor. Mm-hmm. It's going well. You're realizing this is what I want to do. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And then something went wrong.
Right.
I don't know if you were performing one of your songs or... Mm-hmm. And then the judges had to tell you that you're going to be going home. Mm. What happened that day?
I'm 17.
Yeah.
I'm on a TV show.
Yeah.
I'm getting further and further in stages. I'm 17.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
Inexperience. I'm a kid. I don't know anything about nothing apart from just knowing how to sing. I didn't know how to memorize songs in such a quick turnaround, for example. Yeah. Like, you know, getting a song in the morning and being expected to know it by the evening. I didn't have...
Oh, so is that how it works then?
Yeah.
So they give you a song on the day?
Sometimes in boot camp, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But like... You know, even overnight, even if they gave it to me overnight, like I didn't know anything about myself as a performer.
Yeah.
Like right now,
you're still discovering. I could imagine.
Yeah,
17.
but also I don't know what. Like I don't know how to. I didn't know how to write then. I didn't know how. I didn't know. I couldn't read music. Do you know what? Because it wasn't something that I was growing up with the notion of trying to do. So I think I froze up. I was 17 and I was like scared and the nerves.
Yep.
And the further I was getting in the competition, I was like, oh.
This is getting serious.
This is serious.
Yeah.
Like,
the feeling is different.
The nerves are different. My mom's not there. Like my first audition, I had my mom there. Do you know what I mean? Like my mom was. I knew I had the love. I knew I had the support. I wasn't.
It felt safe.
It felt very safe. Yeah. And by the way, I commend my mother for always believing in me, even though she always told me, go and do this and have this that's secure, blah, blah, blah. But she still turned up to the shows. She still made sure I was going to the shows.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? So even though she kind of was like doing the quintessential African parent thing, even with X, I didn't have to convince this woman to take me to Cardiff.
Yeah. So you went all the way from Plymouth?
Yeah, because they weren't auditioning in Plymouth. They were auditioning in Cardiff.
Okay.
Cardiff was the closest anyway.
Yeah.
But I just think I was a kid, man. Like I was 17 and I was scared and I was like, meh. And then,
but at least you took the first step, which is the most important thing.
Which was embarrassing. It was embarrassing to not remember my words, honestly. It was really embarrassing. It was
for 17?
When I was 17, I was embarrassed. Now I look back, I'm like, okay, she was brave, but
I think it's brave.
I think so too.
Now had that not happened, it could have happened later, but it's good that it happened earlier. So
but it was still on television, bro.
Yeah. Nah.
Me, they're going, oh God. It took me years to get over that.
I was going to ask you, how did you deal with it? But how was your friends though? How did they react to
my friends were like gassed. My friends were like, you're on TV. Like, shut up. Shut up. You're on TV. You're on telly, you know? And I was like, and I just kind of instantly became a star in Plymouth. Like I was, you know, people were asking me to like come and turn on the Christmas lights. You know, prestigious. I was like this local celebrity, which was really funny. But
this is what I'm saying. The reason why I'm saying it's brave, or I would say it happened at the right time. Mm-hmm. I watched one of your videos on the X Factor. When you came back, you could tell that this is not a kid anymore.
I know.
You looked matured.
I'm
you
old.
looked secure. Nah. You looked matured. You looked secured. You looked confident. You even flirting with Simon Cowell. I was like, hello, what's going on? Because he asked you a question like, are you married, or if you got a partner or something like that? If you got kids, are you single?
Yeah.
And then you said, what? Are you asking me out?
I said, why are you asking me out?
No, that's confidence right there. And when you said your name, he said your name sounds like a pop star.
Pop star's name, yeah.
Pop star's name.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel?
I mean, I always knew it did, champ.
Oh, yeah.
I just didn't want to say it out loud.
Okay, fair enough.
Because if I didn't deeply know, I wouldn't be pursuing this. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know people want to be modest about themselves, but like, I've always seen myself as an incredible human being.
That's
do you know
good
what I mean?
to have confidence. You need that though.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to be an artist in this.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Like, I absolutely agree. And I think growing up as well, it's just one of those things where you're just like, as a kid, I had so much confidence.
Yeah.
And then I became a young adult at like 17, 18. And then the world just went, burst in your bubble. We don't like you. You're fat. You're this. You're this one. You're that one. And you're like, wait a minute. I liked myself before you guys started telling me what I should not like about myself. Yes. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, whoa. But it took me a minute to come back and realize that.
But it was building.
I was Lizzo before Lizzo was Lizzoing. Do you get?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And everybody has that in them as kids, because you're just innocent and you don't grow up with these boundaries that people put on. Yeah. Like, and these expectations. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's like, to speaking to the confidence that you're talking about. That's what it was. Okay. I was probably the most empowered when I went back there.
All right. And I saw that. And you opened your mouth. I can't remember the song, but I think it was
Natural Woman.
You make me feel like it. Oh, wow. And I was like, wow. Like, even the judges were like, yeah. Now this is it. And then you did that. It went through. Everybody was happy. What are your friends saying? The friends who applied for you, are they still with you at that time? As you're doing this one now?
No, I don't really. I mean, some of them I see them on Instagram and stuff, but I don't really speak to a lot of them. Grow up hard, Well, also I had to I moved away from Plymouth, which is somewhere that a lot of people don't. It's one of those towns. People stay there forever. Do you know what I mean? Some people get away or whatever, but.
So where did you move to?
I moved to London from Plymouth.
Okay. So you come to London, life is good. Is that where the X Factor happens and you move
way after I'd moved over, like I mean maybe I want to say maybe 4 years into living in London. Okay. I was saying no to X Factor for years, by the way. They'd been asking me to come back and I'd said no every year. Oh.
When you went, was it them saying, please come?
Yeah, because they invite people that have done it before, you know, because you have rapport, and obviously they have scouts. Yeah. They look for people. They do look for talent. Do you know what I mean? It's not to say that they pick people to say you're going to be the winner, but they do look for talent. They you know, the same way you would make an advertisement of. Why did that sound like that?
I don't know.
Why is that advertisement? What's that?
It's the voice-over thing. Advertisement. They do call people.
They do call people an advertisement.
So do tell us, as they called you for advertisement.
Do you know why? Because in my head I was thinking advertisement. In my head I was literally thinking, is it advertisement or advertisement? Yeah. Advertisement. I was like overly thinking about this word, but anyway, they put it out there. I was overthinking. See my brain overthinks constantly.
So they invited you to the X Factor.
So they invited me back, and like for years I was like saying no, and then that year, 2016, like the researcher said to me, "Oh, like please do come. Like we would love to have you back. Like you're such a great talent, and you know." And I was like, "Yeah, it would be a great opportunity. I just need to make sure that, you know, it works just as much in my favor as it would for you guys, you know, and it has to make sense in my career." And I was also questioning whether or not it was going to work for me being an actress and stuff like that, because there are stigmas around the show. Do you know what I mean? There are stigmas about you coming into, especially the West End. I mean, not so much now, because I think people are starting to realise that the crossover is okay. Yeah. But I think there was a lot of stigma about, oh, you made it on X Factor fame, then you're probably not actually as good. You're just here because. Do you know what I mean? So I had all of that to think about. Okay. Also, I was still scarred. I'm not gonna lie. Like that show really, it broke my heart to not make it. And I spent a lot of years trying to unpack.
Was it when you were 17?
It, you know, it took me a long time.
I mean, rightfully so. You, like you said, you were young.
Yeah, and you know, it traumatized me. It really did. And and also I was exposed to like trolling online. Yeah. I was exposed to like people on my MySpace. Yeah. MySpace. Do you remember MySpace?
Oh, yes, of course.
On my MySpace, on my Bebo, just chatting. So I was scared of that too. I was like, oh, I'm about to expose myself to the world.
That's the part I ask myself. How do people deal with that? Because until you actually experience it, you don't really think about it in that way. Do you know what I mean? Some people can just think, oh, come on, it's just a comment. Don't read it. Forget about it.
It's not when you then go home and sometimes, you know, we all have good days and bad days. Yes. You know, like I will go home and when the silence kicks in, you're like, is it true? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because you start questioning, like...
you know. Yeah. So the main reason... Whoa. Are we okay?
Right. We safe.
Lord have mercy. I'm not touching anything anymore.
We safe.
I'm gonna keep my hands over here. Yeah. So sorry.
If it doesn't look good, we really apologize. It's all right.
Listen, it's real. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. It's real. But yeah, so the deciding factor was... that the researcher rang me again, like maybe this is like the fourth phone call.
The deciding factor for the X Factor.
Oh, hello. Hello. The researcher called me and she said, listen, this is my attempt, my fifth attempt. I think it was like the fifth phone call we'd had in like a space of 3-4 months.
To try and get you back.
To try and get me in. Yeah. And they were finalising auditions for London. Yeah, because she even tried other cities. So we'll get you to these cities, please. And I just kept saying no. And then they had another date in London. And then she said, but if it's any consolation, everyone will be back. Oh, and I said, everyone? And she said, yes, Louis back, Sharon's back, Simon's here,
I know
and you got Nicole. And you got Nicole Scherzinger and Dermot O'Leary, who was on it for the first time I was on there, and that man has treated me with nothing but kindness, and I have a great rapport with them. I don't know them personally, but I have a great rapport with them. Every time if it was in an event, I'd bump into them. They showed me grace. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So like, I was like, you know what? Actually, this sets me up well, regardless of whether I win it or not. I'm gonna have an opportunity to have camera time on television, guaranteed. And then that's when I knew, you know what, you're gonna have to buckle up and make sure that whatever happens in this competition, when it airs, you have stuff, you have things to achieve, you have places to be. Do you know what I mean? Yes. Because I needed to capitalize on that. Do you know, on that publicity. And so this time around I had a business mind. Approach.
Unlike before, you just went in to just go and have fun. Yeah. So at this point in time, are you doing acting? Are you doing any other things, or are you just?
No, I was working in a bar. Right. I was working in a bar, tirelessly auditioning for things. Yeah. Yeah, and I had a band. I was gigging a lot. I was gigging a lot. It was me just pushing my own stuff. I was, working on my music. I was trying. I was really, really trying.
I'll tell you
Open mics, everything.
I'll tell you where I got introduced to you. I was going to watch the comedy in Leicester Square. Tenjue was performing with
Celeste,
yes. And obviously,
our treasured South African golden girls.
Yes. I didn't know much of you at that time because the name was flowing around. Oh, Anelisa's.
I think
opening.
Also in the South African community over in the UK, it might have been over the X Factor thing because obviously I'd openly said that I was from South Africa, so I think that might have been floating around before.
Most probably, but I don't think I was initially watching the X Factor at that time.
I see. I
got you. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So when they said the name, I was like, I think I've heard of this name. Yeah. And there we went, and you opened. I can't remember which song you sang, but you were the first one to open. I was like, she actually looks familiar. And somebody said, oh no, she was on the X Factor. I was like, oh, brilliant, that's good. And I made a joke. I made a joke to one of my friends. I was like, do you know what? If I ever start my podcast, I'm going to interview you.
Stop it.
No, seriously. I made a joke. It wasn't like a joke. Ha, ha, ha. I said the same thing to Tenjiwe. When I interviewed her on my radio show, I said, I'm going to start up. Because she was so restricted. There was things that she couldn't say on the radio. I said, don't worry. One day I'm going to have a podcast. You can say whatever you want to say. And you
Of course. Yeah.
Anyway, fast forward. You do your thing. You sing. Beautiful voice.
Thank you.
And then the comedians do their stuff. And then you disappeared. I didn't hear about you. As in, no, not that you disappeared literally, but as in wherever I went, I was trying to find where does she perform? Yes.
Like, what's her thing?
Yes. And then I got Tenjiwe for the radio. And then Gina sent me something on Spotify.
Right.
Said, hi, there's this girl. Her name is Anelisa. Right. She was on the X Factor, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I know this girl. She was opening on this show,
Gina being...
Gina is Tenjiwe's friend.
Right.
So she was saying, since you're going to interview Tenjiwe, there's this girl as well. You guys actually might get along because she's bubbly. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I need to really interview this girl. I need to find out what she's about. So I listened to some of your music. In terms of the music, it's different for what you would expect. Say maybe somebody from South Africa, because there's Amapiano, Kwaito, but I listen to your music, it is different. What inspired your type of music? Like, or growing up, who inspired you with music?
I am a mixed bag. So like, some days I'll wake up and I will legit put on some back. Yeah. Like, do you know All Maestro? Like, I literally love classical music. I love opera. I love classical music. But growing up, I had like a mixture of a palette. So I lost my eldest brother. I mean, I used to have two brothers, but my eldest brother who passed.
Sorry about that, yeah.
Thank you. He was so heavily into his Luther Vandrosses.
Was he a good singer as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, his pitching was a bit... Love you.
Is that he had to defend himself? So I'll take your word. I'll take your word for it.
Don't snatch my voice. He was a good singer, but his pitching was terrible.
If the mixer is not recording, we know it's him. Yeah.
His pitching was terrible, but he was into his Luther Vandrosses. He was like a Whitney fan.
Yep.
Like, he was just so good with rhythm and blues. Jazz, like just neo soul as well. He was the introduction to neo soul for me as a very young kid. And then you've got my mum, who's like super gospel. So like, there comes my joyous celebration in there, so it's a gospel choir. And those were the foundations of my, choral singing was the foundations for my stuff. And then when it comes to like Kwaito and like house music, I resonated with house if it was soulful house. Okay. I didn't resonate with house as like the way that South Africans resonate with house, because everybody's like, why are you not doing it on my piano? I'm like, it's not my thing. It's not my thing. Like, even now when you go on my playlist, there's a few of them that are in there. I'm not like a through and through. I'm a piano girl.
Thing,
No, I'm not. And even though it's Sosha, I'm like, I'm actually from there.
Do you think you would kill it?
I mean, I kill everything. There is that.
So maybe you should kill it just for the hell of it.
No, if the music speaks to me, then I'll do it. I'm a firm believer in, I feel like, even to the point where other Africans, I'm so happy that they're doing it, but at the same time, I'm like, you're diluting what the sound is supposed to sound like. If it's not truly coming from a place of understanding and a place of knowing what you're doing, I think leave it alone. Give it to the people that have brought it to the surface. Do you know what I mean? Like, everybody and their cousin has Amapiano now. Do you know what I mean? And people that don't really have any business doing that. So I'm not going to insert myself into a place where I don't feel adequate.
You respect the culture. I get that.
I respect the sound. I respect the culture. I also respect the fact that we cannot keep diluting ourselves as human beings into this big melting pot of nothingness.
True. Just to want to get involved, and then you feel like,
You know, there's a lot of black spaces and we can spread around. It's okay. And also, I don't have to exist in that world either. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, even with house music, I fell into it really because a lot of my friends used to be like, oh, you should be like a house vocalist and stuff. And I was like, yeah, cool. And then, excuse me, when I was in drama school, that was my little side hustle.
Okay.
So I didn't feature on a lot of stuff. I just kind of went on. I really love messing up your stuff.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
We can all see it's you. It's fine.
I got into it because it was just like, oh, okay, a session for this, cool, quick money, let's go.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I had no business trying to be featured on anything because I was like, oh, is that really like that beat? Oh, that doesn't. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
And nothing was speaking to me at the time, you know. But then lockdown happened, and I was like suddenly in demand of a lot of producers and DJs that were reaching out because obviously suddenly people had time. So people then had time to like find people, and I was with new management at the time. Shout out Elizabeth at Control Room. Okay. I had to force her. She didn't want to manage me. I was like, girl, you better manage me. You're managing me.
What made you look for a manager?
Because I needed guidance. I needed somebody that's going to help me take my stuff to the next level because I was doing a great job looking after myself, but also fundamentally it was also just having someone that knows what they're doing. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Wanted to have a structure
I don't have the answers. Do you know what I mean? Like as much as I am savvy and I know what I want, I don't know how to go about it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I always need and I don't always have the connections as well. You know? So so I started writing and just recording a lot during lockdown. And then I went, oh, actually, I might like this house stuff. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I might like this dance music. So, yeah.
No, that's fair enough. I mean, I want to ask you about your acting as to how did you start acting? Obviously, now we're talking about music. But before we get into that, I've got a little game that I play on the show.
Okay, let's go.
Let's see. I went easy on you, though.
Okay, why?
Yeah, I don't know, because the last person who helped me with the previous game, it was just too... It was too much.
Was it rowdy?
Yeah, it was rowdy. It's called Would You Rather.
Oh gosh, this. Now people are gonna know I'm crazy.
Like I said, I went easy on you. It does get like too much, but
people are gonna know I'm a mental case. Go on then.
Nah, because you're a nice person. I thought, you know what? Nah, let's go easy on her. Just ask it.
I'm glad you don't realize that I'm actually mentally incapable, but okay.
Nah, we'll discover that. Don't worry, I'm like that too.
Okay.
The first one goes, let's see. Would you rather lose your ability to sing?
Ooh.
Or would you rather lose your ability to be an actress? Meaning not acting.
Because the two go hand in hand.
That's why we put it there.
That's so annoying. Because I still need to use my voice box.
I know.
So when you say ability to sing, like as in not be a good singer, basically.
You still be an actress, but you just can't sing. When you sing, it's like blah.
It's what?
It's like
pitchy, like my brother. Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Love you. Dig. Another dig. Love you.
Yeah.
I would have to. Oh, that's like me having to choose between my babies.
Well, you might have to.
I don't. By the way, babies and universe, I just want you to know that I love you both. If I answer this, I love you acting. I love you singing, especially you acting. For me, not that it's difficult to sing, but not that it's not difficult to sing, but as in it's easy. As in, I've never had to push myself for the courage for it.
Okay, so you'd rather lose.
I would rather lose. No, I choose singing. Let's use those words. I choose singing. I don't want to lose anything.
Good answer. I can tell you've been getting a lot of coaching. Good political answer. All right. Let's suit things out.
Okay.
Would you rather date Usher or Michael B. Jordan?
Oh, that's interesting. Not Usher because chlamydia. No thanks. Actually, but I had a huge crush as a kid. I actually had a big crush.
I know all girls had crush on him.
I did, but Michael B. Jordan. What does he look like again? Is it the Wakanda boy?
He is in Wakanda, but he's not the main actor. He's the tough boy.
Is he's the one that challenged it?
Yes, the challenger.
Oh,
the one who challenged our Wakanda.
Michael's fine.
Yeah.
Michael's fine. No, do you know what? Oh.
You're not gonna go political on me on just Michael B. Jordan or Usher.
No, you know why? Because there's complications here.
Yeah.
So you got Usher, who's admittedly like Playboy.
Yeah.
Who's also admittedly like the whole chlamydia thing. I'm like,
yeah, but
if he didn't have chlamydia, if he didn't have,
let me make it easier for you.
Okay, if he didn't
don't worry about their problems.
If I didn't hear about his STIs, I would have to go with Usher.
Okay.
Because he's my go-to type of crush.
All right.
And every time that man is dancing, I'm like,
Yeah. Now, what the hell is this? Who's writing this?
You need to speak to production. You need to speak to production, love.
They just start firing people. Would you rather be an aeroplane or would you rather be a boat?
Ooh. I'd rather be a boat because I love
Why?
the sea. I love the sea. It's refreshing. It's replenishing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Rebirth. That was easy for me.
Would you rather get caught cheating or would you rather get your partner cheating? Basically, would you rather catch somebody cheating on you or would you rather be caught cheating?
Oh, wow. Oh, this is upsetting. Sorry.
Well done, guys. This is a good one.
I'm still healing. Yeah. I'm still healing. For those who don't know, I'm still healing.
Okay. Heal, sister. Heal.
That is an interesting question.
Yeah.
Would I rather catch someone cheating or be caught cheating? Do you know what? Because I have experienced catching somebody cheating, I will go with I'd rather be caught so I can experience it. Then I would have lived life. Then I can write a book and be like, I've been on both sides of the coin. Woo-woo.
It's crazy though. How do you feel about loyalty?
Loyalty?
How big is it to you? Yeah.
Massive. I just feel like just know where home is. And be realistic about that. Do you know what I mean? Like, be realistic about, because betrayal is a big thing. And I think, like, and also, I also want to separate loyalty from staying in toxic situations. Being loyal should not be synonymous with leaving someone after they've done something wrong to you. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I will still be loyal to you, even though I'm like, bye, see you later. And by that, I mean, as in the love for you that I have will never be wavering.
The same, yeah.
It will never, I mean, not necessarily the same, like as in like, I will never stop loving you. However, I will also choose what's correct for me to leave. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. So if you were there on the street and you needed, you needed to get to the hospital, I will still take you.
Wow.
And that's what I'm saying.
Heart.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what loyalty means to me.
Yeah.
Is that even after people have done stuff to you, even though you've decided to move away or separate yourself, I'll still be there. But like loyalty is very big for me because like, especially my mum moved back to South Africa my first or second year. I think it was my second year of drama school.
Okay.
Yeah. And I just remember feeling like, oh wow, like everybody's moved home. Like my brother's gone, my dad was gone, my sister went back. Like it was this thing of like
on your own.
Oh my God. So like for me, it was being able to build a family and learn what that meant. Yeah. Because you know, like with your family, with your blood family, I mean, loyalty can like, I mean, you don't have to be loyal to your family, but like it kind of automatically happens sometimes, in most cases anyway. Yeah. Because you're bound. You're bound.
It's blood.
It's blood. Yeah. You're just like, oh, I hate you, but I love you. Ah. Do you know what I mean? Whatever happens, you're still like, yeah. And for me, the first time I understood what loyalty meant was by the people that I surrounded myself with, because I've been incredibly blessed. Yeah. With some incredible people that have been loyal that are now my family.
That's really good. That's really good.
Yeah. And now my very, very beloved UK family.
And after being through so much, what motivates you? What keeps you going? I mean, whether it be the X Factor not going the way you want to go, or anything, somebody doing some shit to you, betraying you. What keeps you going? What keeps Anelisa just, I gotta do this? Where do you draw that motivation from?
My mother, like, I watched my mum work so hard, like, growing up. Like, this woman was being superwoman at the hospital.
Yeah.
And then coming home to cook.
Yeah.
And then getting a PhD. Like, it was a lot. Like, my mum was, like, studying with me while I was studying. I was like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm back at uni. I'm like, eh? I thought you had a job. Like, right. I thought you were a nurse, girl. Like, what you doing? What is this? Why is you doing your homework? But, like, I watched this woman relentlessly work. And also, like, she is my motivation also for her. Like, I pray that I give her the softest life. I try now to give her the soft life, but I want to even give her even softer life. Do you know what I mean? Like, I want my mum to experience all the things that she sacrificed for us to be who we are. Do you know what I mean? That keeps me going. But I also look at life as it's a new day, let's go. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
I like that.
Therapy is another good thing for me. Like, I love therapy. I'm obsessed with therapy.
How often do you go to therapy, if you don't mind?
I always try and check in 3 times a year, even if something's not going wrong. Okay. Just because you sometimes don't realize that you are going through things, because sometimes we can become robots and go to work, and because I nearly spoke Sutu.
I heard you. Whatever.
Hello. Because yeah, because you don't have that time to like oh, I can stop now. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So you don't have that chance to actually think about what's really happening, so you can, automatically ignore it.
I think that's why.
And I pour myself into music as well. I pour myself into acting. I pour myself into this work. Yeah. And that's why I forced myself, because when 2020 hit me. Yeah. Chat, I'm finna, like, I want to cry right now thinking about it. No. But, like, when it hit me, for real, I was so overcome by all these things that I thought I had dealt with. Yeah. But really, I hadn't. No, I hadn't.
Did COVID help you to do that? Because for me, it was COVID that helped me stop. Because everything was like... And then when I stopped, I had time to, like, think. Mm-hmm. But in terms of therapy, I've never been to therapy. If you were to describe therapy to somebody,
I would say,
what is it like?
Well, for me anyway, from my experience, I've been able to unpack things that I otherwise wouldn't have unpacked, because I can only deal with situations with the tools that I have. Yeah, I can't deal with them without knowing what to do, if you know what I mean. Like, for example, I'll give you an example. There was an incident that happened to me when I was a kid, and it scarred the way that I looked at my parents, even though I love my parents. Yeah. But it scarred the way that I looked at them, because the way that they dealt with it didn't make me feel safe. Okay. And I didn't realize I was carrying this resentment. Mm-hmm. And until I unpacked that, and I was like, oh, that's the root of it. Oh. And then it wasn't until I had that conversation with my mum, which was a very uncomfortable conversation, obviously. Yeah. But I also had to understand that my parents are human too. Do you know what I mean? Like, they were young kids too. They were also learning. They were only operating based on what they know. Yeah. And not necessarily what can help them do better.
Was this through therapy?
Yeah. That was definitely through therapy. And, like, it's just helped me unpack things in a way that's not too emotional, basically. Yeah. I would say that you are able to look at things rationally. Do you know what I mean? Like, I hold no resentment to anybody in my life. Like, okay. I'll be upset with you, but I won't, like, I don't.
You won't hold any
I don't,
any
because
grudges,
everybody has a reason for why things are happening. Yeah. But it's up to me to decide whether or not I want that in my life.
And maybe they're going through some shit as well.
And it's not to excuse what you've done. Yeah. It's just to say, that's where you are. Yeah. Cool. I'm trying to be over here. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Do you find it easy to cut people off? Like,
recently, yes.
Yeah.
Recently, yes. I'm training myself too.
Why recently?
Because I tend to hold on to people that don't give me anything. Okay. Because I'm an empath, and I feel. Mm-hmm. I'm always like, oh, I'm so sorry. It's not your fault. Yeah, okay. I didn't realize in the past that I could have empathy for somebody going through something and doing the wrong thing, but still have a repercussion for it.
All right.
Versus going, oh, I just forgive you because it's okay because you've gone through this.
Instead of saying it's not okay.
Yeah. You know, I can equally say I understand what you're going through, but it's not okay.
Yeah.
So now that's what I'm learning to do, and I'm learning to be able to cut people off when they don't serve me.
Yeah.
Which is a very hard thing for me. It's very, very hard. It's very, very hard to cut off people that don't serve me because I love them. Just because I love them doesn't mean that they're serving me.
Yes.
And serving my life or bringing anything that's, you know.
That's dope.
Yeah.
We spoke about singing. We spoke about therapy. Now I want to hear about the acting part.
Yeah.
Where do you come across acting? Because I'll tell you where I discovered you. The Color Purple.
What, you mean like you saw me act for the first time?
Yeah, that was the first time
I bet you were like, oh, there's another layer.
Yes, that's exactly what I thought. Let me tell you this. It's when we got there, I've been to theatre before, like the Lion King, the whatever.
Yeah.
But this one, obviously, mostly it's a black cast, which is really something to be proud of.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we get there.
And a black director.
Yes.
Female black director.
Female black
Two
director.
female black directors. Thank you very much. Yes, indeed.
So I get there. I don't know what to expect. I'm expecting some purple things to pop up because it's the Color Purple. No, I'm kidding.
Screaming.
So it opens up. I had not seen you in a while, in a long time.
Yes, we had been trying to arrange an interview.
Yeah. And I felt like a stalker because I'm like that. Like when I want someone, I'll be there. I'll be like, yo.
I know you are.
Yo, it's gotta happen.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, but I can't. I have to be like that because if you don't, people are busy.
He stalked me, y'all. He admitted it.
People are busy.
I know.
You don't say it like the next day. They forget about it. They move on. They do other things, which is fair enough.
I will say, like, that is one thing that I'm excited for you about, because you have to, especially in this kind of line of work, you have to be persistent. I know. And I get it. I chase people too, so don't worry.
Maybe in other things I don't, but when it comes to this, I'm like, yo, this person will forget. Because sometimes people ask me for things and they don't say it for like 4 days. Yeah,
but also it's not important to them. Like, not to say it wasn't important to me, but because it's your project, I'm not necessarily going to be like, like, I'm not going to prioritize it, basically. And a lot of people, and no, but it's because people are prioritizing what they need to prioritize.
Yes, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
But then we get on stage and there people up here, and there's this girl or this lady in a white dress.
Yes.
But it's whiter than the other ones.
It's the only white one.
I was like, that's her. That's Anelisa.
Did you know I was going to be in the show?
I knew, but I didn't know what you're going to do. What?
Oh, she didn't tell you what I was doing?
No, nobody did. They told me. Obviously, we came there because Anelisa is in the show.
No, but as in, like, they didn't tell you, like, what part I was playing? None of that?
No, I didn't even read up. I just went there. Okay. And then my friend said, because he doesn't know who Anelisa is. So he's like, who's Anelisa?
Who's this person that Yeah, because, by the way, guys, I just want to say, when I tell you about South African support, they said 10 man deep, okay? I said, okay. And there was ululating there. It was like, I was like, yes, my people are in.
No, honestly, thank Tenjiwe, because she gave me a ticket for my birthday.
Miss Mosley.
Yes, she said to because I said, yo, I need to go to the show. She said, don't worry, for your birthday present, this is where we're going. Got there. Anyway, there you come. And then I said to my friend, that's her. You look amazing.
Thank you.
You look beautiful. Like, okay, obviously the acting happened. I was like, what?
That first character that you saw me as was church soloist.
You were just amazing.
I based her on my mum, even the mannerisms of her. Because obviously I knew I was playing Sophia later, but I was like, the mannerisms, how I sang that song is my mum. My mum, she's so funny. She refuses to join the choir, but she will still out-sing the choir in church. Wow. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, she'll still be the soloist in church.
But she doesn't want to join
She's like, I don't have time. Yeah. And she'll out-sing everybody with her top soprano. You'll hear it. I'm sure she was annoying people in church. I'm sure of it. Because even I was like, mother.
Too much.
Mother. But she'll be like, no, I'm just praising the Lord. Like, that's that mom's energy. Like, I'm just praising the
Lord.
Mother, you know you Beyonce. Yeah. You know. So like, even the wig, that wig, I named it because obviously that character's not a character. Yeah. It's an ensemble character, and so it's literally just church soloist. She doesn't have a name. Yeah. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna name her Vivian. That's my mom's name. So the
Do
wig,
you ever
the
watch
wig
it?
is called
Do you watch
Vivian.
it back? Have you watched it back? Do you get a chance? Does somebody record? Do you know how it looks like?
I watched it last night.
Is it?
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
I can't.
Do you cringe?
No. I thought I was going to cringe. And like, oh, gosh, I'm getting emotional about it. But like,
Yeah.
I am so proud of me believing in myself
Yes.
because I didn't think I could act.
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't want to cry because my eyelashes gonna come off.
That's all. Let's have a drink. Don't cry. Let's toast.
No, but
Let's
it's good
toast.
tears. It's good
Let's
tears.
toast,
It's
yes.
actually good tears. And I was just like, cheers. I watched that and I was just like, wow. Okay. I get it. Like, I didn't get it during the time. People used to come up to me and like, and say like, oh, wow, like, you are incredible. You were just so mesmerizing to
Which
watch.
you are.
And I hear it on
amazing.
the, thank you. And I hear it on the surface level of stuff. But when I'm doing what I'm doing,
Yeah.
I'm just concentrating on trying to do a good job.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't stop
Yeah.
and say, whoa, this is what you're
That's
doing.
what
Do you know
do.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're gonna kill me for not giving you a tissue.
It's okay. I have no tears
Nah,
yet. I have no
I'll look
tears
for it.
yet.
I'll look for it.
I'm just like deeply trying not to cry because like my eyelashes are gonna come off and stuff.
Please don't cry.
But no, but it's good tears. It's good tears. I'm just yeah.
That's really good.
For the first time in my life, thank you so much.
No worries.
For the first time in my life, I'm doing what I want to do, but also just trusting myself in doing so.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I watched it back yesterday. I was very emotional. Did
you watch it alone?
No, with my friend. My friend came over last night and she's seen it in Plymouth, which was also another full circle, taking it to Plymouth and coming back to Plymouth in the theatre.
Yes.
And I remember like my college teacher was there. She came and watched the show. Some of my friends that we did amateur performances with, they came and see the show.
Isn't that fulfilling when like people that you know from way back? Or,
Yeah, my
like,
mum's friends.
Yes.
Met up with my mum's friends and again, they both cried. We all cried.
Right,
We all
yes.
cried together because I remember when my mum couldn't pick me up sometimes from like school trips from doing the choir and stuff, or like when I had gigs and stuff, like Wendy and Michael used to come and pick me up. So they know the journey, do you know what I mean? And like to see them see me come so far and be like, wow, we're so proud of you.
Every time I like to ask my guest, the last question that I'm going to ask you is, if there's anyone dead or alive that you feel in your life deserves to get flowers, who is that person?
My
Dead
mother.
or alive?
My mother.
Yeah?
Always my mother.
It's got to be.
My mother, in so many ways.
She's always been there.
Always been there. She's been such a weirdly traditional African parent, but very progressive at the same time.
Yeah.
And by the way, I dedicated and based Sophia on my mother. So everything I was drawing from my mother, from the jail scene, I drew from my mom's experiences with apartheid, from, you know, the love and heartbreak that she had.
Yeah.
I based that around, you know, my dad and my mom and the relationship that they had. Her strength, her progressiveness in a time that didn't understand her, based out on my mother. So everything that I am today is because of that woman.
Okay.
That beautiful, beautiful woman.
Thank you
who is more
very much.
beautiful than me, just so you know, before she comes in. Tells me off.
Hopefully we found the signal. This is the sign that we do.
Is it?
To
What,
make
and what
sure.
do I do?
No, we
Okay.
just touch the hands.
Oh,
like that.
okay, like that. Okay.
I think it's the other hand.
I'm
This
sorry,
doesn't make sense.
I'm sorry, my nails are not done. I'm having a break.
That's it.
That's it.
Thank you very much. It's your boy, Mr. MDK. Mr. Woke Up Like This. Boom.